You start as a 23-year-old first-year analyst walking into the office before sunrise. The city outside is still dark, but your floor is already glowing with Bloomberg screens, empty coffee cups, and people who haven't gone home yet. 3 monitors sit in front of you, filled with Excel models, pitch decks, debt schedules, and market data. Your coffee is already cold, and the market opens in less than 4 minutes. You've been here since 5:47 in the morning, long before most people even wake up. Behind you sits $94,000 of student debt, and somehow that number still follows you everywhere. The salary looked huge when you signed the offer letter and moved into the city. Then you saw what your managing director makes in a single year, and suddenly your entire definition of money changed. You become the invisible foundation of the entire machine. You fix Excel models that nobody else understands, and you spend entire nights formatting presentations that most people will never even read. You quietly correct mistakes worth millions of dollars before anyone notices they happened. No one thanks you when everything works. They only notice when something breaks. Every spreadsheet, every model, every late-night revision eventually lands on your desk. And very quickly, you learn that honesty is a luxury in this business. Discretion becomes the only currency that really matters. You stop talking about your work. You stop explaining what you do. You learn that the less people know, the more valuable you become. A few years later, you're sitting in conference rooms instead of cubicles. The rooms are bigger now, the people are richer, and the stakes are much higher. You structure deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You explain covenant breaches to CFOs, lenders, lawyers, and investors who all want different answers. You build LBO models without thinking about who gets cut after the deal closes. Entire teams depend on your numbers now, and one wrong assumption can destroy months of work. Lawyers, consultants, private equity firms, and management teams all wait for your model before making a decision. The question is no longer whether a deal is good. The only question now is whether it can actually get done. Because in this world, the best deal means nothing if the financing falls apart. Then you close your first major deal on your own, a $620 million acquisition financing. For the first time, you're the one leading the room. Your name is still buried on the 6th page of the presentation, but now, clients are starting to ask for you directly. They want your numbers. They want your opinion. You begin managing younger analysts and teaching them how the machine works. You watch them make the same mistakes you used to make, and you realize how far you've already come. You stop selling numbers and start selling confidence. People no longer buy your models. They buy the feeling that you know exactly what happens next. At the next level, you become a deal generator. Clients stop calling the bank and start calling you directly. Your phone fills up with CEOs, investors, founders, and private clients. One lost opportunity teaches you the most important lesson in finance. Information is everything. Access matters more than any model ever will. The real conversations happen in private rooms away from the crowd. They happen over dinners, inside airport lounges, in hotel bars, and behind closed doors. Your watch, your network, your reputation, everything becomes part of the image. You are no longer just executing deals. You are creating opportunities. Now you have 12 core clients, and each one generates millions every year. You approve loans backed by risky assets that everyone knows could fail, because losing the relationship costs more than losing the money. In finance, relationships survive longer than spreadsheets ever do. Your life becomes airports, hotel suites, private jets, late-night phone calls, and rush dinners in cities you barely remember visiting. One week you're in Singapore, the next week you're in Zurich, then Abu Dhabi. After a while, every city starts to look exactly the same. You stop remembering hotel names. You stop unpacking your suitcase. You start measuring time in deals instead of months. At the partner level, you stop thinking quarter to quarter. You think in 5-year and 10-year cycles instead. You structure billion-dollar deals across multiple jurisdictions. Luxembourg, Cayman, Singapore. Every structure is designed for efficiency, leverage, and control. One carried interest position can turn into tens of millions of dollars. At this level, a single deal can change your life forever. The world becomes smaller and smaller around you, until only the people who truly control capital are left inside it. Then you move even higher. There are no loud titles anymore, only your name attached to capital, influence, and access. Your family office manages tens of billions of dollars. You predict crises years before they happen because your entire job is to see what other people miss. Your decisions influence countries, industries, currencies, elections, and markets, but you stopped feeling the consequences a long time ago. At this level, your circle of trust is smaller than 10 people. Every conversation is worth more than most companies. You no longer need attention. You no longer need headlines. The less visible you are, the more power you actually have. Then comes the final level, a room in Geneva. 4 people. No agenda. No presentation. No wasted words. You speak for 6 minutes and the room listens to every word. Nobody interrupts you because everyone in the room already understands what is at stake. Then you stop talking and the world starts moving. Markets move, capital shifts, companies change direction, and industries reorganize themselves. And when the meeting is over, you stand alone looking over the city, watching lights move across the lake below. Somewhere else, at the exact same moment, a new analyst opens his first Bloomberg terminal. His badge says First Year Analyst. The market opens, the coffee gets cold, and the machine takes another step forward. Because no matter how high you climb, someone new is always stepping onto the first rung of the ladder.